could freeze any minute.
Be careful driving home.
I'll be careful driving home. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to read something so that the audience can get a sense of things here. This is going backwards, by the way.
Sure.
2018 Music NL winner, Classic Coast 101.1 Jazz Blues Artist of the Year. 2018 Canadian Folk Music Award nominee, Young Performer of the Year. 2018 Music NL nominee, Classic Coast 101.1 Jazz Blues Artist of the Year. 2018 ECMA nominee, Blues Recording of the Year. 2018 International Blues Competition semi-finalist, Music NL Classic Coast 101.1 Jazz Blues Artist of the Year, and 2016 Canadian Folk Music Award for Young Performers of the Year. I've been doing this show now for, I think this will be 12 or 13 or 14 shows, and that is the longest list of awards that I've had to read. Now, you won this as with Earle and Coffin.
Yes, yeah.
Tell us a bit about Earle and Coffin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Earle and Coffin is myself, Nick Earle, and Joe Coffin. And we've been unofficially an act since, I think, 2013, 2014. And then officially the brand of Earle and Coffin since 2015. And yeah, that's a bare bones definition would be a blues duo from St. John's, Newfoundland. And it'd be a pretty accurate description.
Tell the audience how old you are right now.
19.
Yeah. So having all of those sort of awards, accolades, and you're still 19 is pretty impressive by any measure. And congratulations on all of that.
Thank you so much.
And you racked up these accomplishments with Joe Coffin. And were you guys surprised by that kind of success?
Yeah, to be recognized for what we do is definitely an honor, and especially the Canadian Folk Music Award nominations. We weren't even sure if they were going to accept us as folk artists, and so for them to accept us into that community and then honor us how they have previously, and then now with this nomination, we're very grateful for that.
So these awards haven't been...
The Canadian Folk Music Awards for 2018 haven't been announced yet, so that's...
so, I mean, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, yeah.
And, yeah, so, yeah, it's funny because they're Young Artists Awards twice. Because you're still young artists. Yeah. So, now, do you work with Joe Coffin? You've been doing that since 2015. But this is not Earle and Coffin is not going anywhere, right?
No. We're still in everyone's faces, streaming our blues at you and whatnot.
Good. Because I really enjoy it's fantastic music. You're on my shuffle on Spotify all the time, so it just plays every now and then. So most people, when they were part of a successful duo and things are going so well, they kind of get rest in that for a while and just go along with that and just stay there. But you've decided to do something by yourself.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Well, Dean Stairs was, I feel he was listening to me, mumbling, and was like, oh, well, that doesn't sound terrible. And I was actually just writing some mushy acoustic guitar folk stuff. And in talking with Dean a bit, it was, if you're ever interested in doing a solo project, I'd be interested in having you. So I was like, well, that sounds like a good, great idea. And so I just kept writing tunes, and I could express myself in more than just blues music. So I'm kind of following that path right now, and just being able to do both. Play my blues with good old Joey, and then also kind of find my own path in whatever else I'm doing.
Do you know what it is yet? Have you...
it's somewhere between...
The hardest question I ask musicians is describe your music.
Because
it's music. It's not words.
It's art. No.
Yeah,
no, it's definitely somewhere between folk rock and, kind of mushy folk that you listen to.
Mushy folk?
Yeah, mushy folk. You want to cry when you listen to it, but also you're like, oh, I'll get
So,
through
like,
the day.
yeah, and it's funny because you're talking about mushy folk, and I know what you mean, and everybody's, because I hear this all the time. It's like, why would you listen to something that would make you cry or make you, but that's what art does, right? It's supposed to make you feel.
Exactly, yeah.
And I saw this great quote, and I'm not sure exactly how it goes. I'm going to totally say it wrong, but it was, art is, art is what can take something very painful and very horrible and make it beautiful. Art turns it into something music, like a beautiful song or a beautiful painting or a beautiful book or whatever, poetry. So that's why we listens to music. There you go. Knows where I'm from. We listen to music that makes us, evokes emotion. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're gonna make us cry a bit on this.
I think you're gonna be taken on a roller coaster here. You're gonna have some left turns and right turns and spin you upside down once or twice, and then by the end of it, you enjoy your experience. Hopefully.
Okay. So blues wasn't sad enough. He's gonna make us cry.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
But it's funny because you hear the blues and it's supposed to be the blues. Like people who have the blues are sad, but yet when you listen to the blues, it's not particularly like that, is it?
No, I always like to refer to blues as like a venting process, So you don't listen to blues to be sad. You listen, you're all venting out your sorrows and then enjoying some music, while you do so.
Then you walk away all vented,
exactly,
ventilated,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And feeling better. I think that's it, though. Music connects people, right?
100%, definitely.
It connects people with their feelings and people with each other. So. Which is good because we need more connection in this disconnected world. We're more connected than ever in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways we're disconnected. So now I was talking to Tim Baker recently. Tim Baker of Hey Rosetta.
Yes, yeah.
Struck out on his own now. He's doing some solo work. And we were talking about, the differences between being on your own and being with somebody else. Well, he was with a group and but it's a little daunting to be just that person and it be all you. How do you feel about that? Is it a little bit nerve-wracking?
It's interesting to not have to directly filter all your ideas through someone else or a group, in I guess Tim's case. So in a way, you're not really referencing what you're doing with someone else. So all that you're creating is your own input and everything is your own, which is great. But in another way, you could be putting out absolute trash and no one's telling you to stop because it's just you, right? So
that's Dean's show.
Yeah, exactly. But he's too nice anyway. He wouldn't tell me to.
No, he won't let you put out crap. No. I hear the stuff that comes out of the studio. There's no crap. So yeah, he'd stop you. So now let's switch gears a little bit. So you got blues, you got jazz, you got folk. Who influenced you? Where did that come from at 19 years old? That blues. Who do you listen to?
Well, my main blues influence was Stevie Ray Vaughan. So when I was about 9 years old, I was shopping at Costco with my parents and seen an interesting DVD case with a cool character on it, and that happened to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I didn't know of him or his music at the time, but this image was, really interested me. And I asked my parents if I could have the DVD, and they bought it for me. And I still watch it to this day. It's just it was his first and the last shows at Austin City Limits. And the guitar playing on it is just fantastic.
That was a lucky Costco experience because, of all the things in Costco that you could have caught your eye.
Yeah, that's
at
the
that
thing.
age. It was so yeah, and of course, you think blues, you think Stevie Ray Vaughan anyway.
Yeah.
So anybody else?
I'm also like a radical Kiss fan, like I was when I was younger, and I think some of my guitar playing in some of the bite to it when it gets a little aggressive, I'll credit to Ace Frehley maybe. So as you can see, I don't get up with makeup on or wearing leather, but that's definitely it's definitely a heavy influence, even if you can't see it.
I can't see it. I'm a Kiss fan too. I always think about the time I was on George Street in St. John's, and I was down from Ontario for a trip, and George Street Festival was on, but we were into, I think it was the Ship. Yeah, it was the Duke. It wasn't George Street. It was down at the Duke, and or maybe it was the Ship. I don't know. One of the pubs. It was, George Street. I may have been not quite sober. And, but anyway, there was, Arthur O'Brien was playing Celtic music, like, regular traditional stuff. That's what we were looking for. We were down from the mainland, right? Looking for Newfoundland experience. And whatever was going on, I think it was a Kiss cover band was going on outside. And a little while later, this guy in full Kiss makeup comes in, joins Arthur, sits at the drum kit and starts playing. Okay. And it was like the weirdest, most surreal, but completely natural thing in downtown St. John's during George Street Festival.
There you
Right?
go.
So every time I think Kiss now, I always think of that. It was like so weird, but so fun. So fun. So yeah, Kiss and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That's what did it for me when as a kid. That's what you know, and kind of moving forward now in writing my own music. When you look at Newfoundland, there's a rich history of songwriters and song finders and who are just bringing folk music in front of everyone's eyes and ears. So to be a part of a movement that keeps folk music going, kind of want to put my name in the pool of like, oh well, here's another folk artist. Now my music definitely gets rocked up a bit as well, but definitely want to give a variety and put my name in the hat of folk artists as well, right?
So now this album, how close are we to completion of this album? When will we see this album?
I say, well, in the first quarter of next year is what I will say. You'll hear the album, and we're still deep in the process of making it right now. But the tunes are picked, and we've been tracking guitars for the past couple of days, and I'm actually gonna go track some vocals after this here now. So
just take care. Talk slowly.
Talk very slowly. Breathe.
Yeah.
Don't strain your voice.
Don't strain your voice
right?
now. So I was gonna go somewhere with that. So I just read you a whole bunch of things that you got awards for, and obviously you didn't get those awards by sitting around. So you guys have been so busy. Where did you find time to write all those songs that you're gonna create? What do you create?
I think in between Earle and Coffin shows, essentially. Yeah. So while we were touring over the summer, we toured. One stretch was about 33 days. So you do a show, and then in the day leading up to the next show, you have time to be creative and explore around and find ideas for some music. And yeah.
So do you just go sit down and start, okay, I'm going to write a song, and you have no idea? Or do you have an idea and they go, I got to go write this?
A bit of both. Because sometimes you sit down and you want to go, I'm going to go write a song. Doesn't work like that necessarily. You sit down there, you play 3 chords, write 1 line, and you look at it and it's terrible. This album is 10 songs that have hopefully 10 songs. Hopefully no one throws any of them away. But 10 songs that have been selected out of probably 50.
Wow.
Well, because over time I've been writing for this album for probably 9-10 months, and it's like, so you write a song and you think it's a keeper, and then you write a song and maybe it's you're 3/4 of the way through it, and then you borrow a line from something else you created and then scrap the rest of it to make one better tune, right? And,
I'd see, that's interesting for me. I'm a writer, so that's an interesting. I do that too.
There you go.
I'll be writing something and it'll like, this is going to be a short story, and then I'll be writing the novel and I'll go, oh, but I had a really cool line in the short story, and then I take it out and put it in the other one, and then the short story's got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But then what you were mainly
never
working
know.
on, it builds right up.
Yeah. So I didn't know that people did that in songwriting.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and now I know you can't say too much about the album. Do you have a name for it yet?
I think our tentative title is Lovers Turn Strangers.
Oh,
yeah.
That's intriguing.
Yeah.
So lots of breakup songs for you.
Of course, only breakup songs. My main gig is blues. What'd you expect? I'm really happy.
That's why we're all gonna cry.
Sunshine and rainbows. No.
Yeah, no unicorns and no happy clouds. Oh well. Do you have a favorite song on this album that's sort of?
Not yet. I'm sure I'll have a favorite one to play or to perform live, but I have some tracks that hopefully can get crowd singing along with, and a few catchy hooks. But to sit down and go from sitting at a desk and trying to write to sitting down after you demoed a rough vocal, and now you're building this record up and starting to hear it back, and you're sitting down in the studio and hearing it come back at you. It's a pretty amazing process in terms of when you hear yourself, you go, you're doing something that you didn't think you could do, or doing something that's turning out a lot better than you thought it would. And for me right now in this solo experience, it's it's turning into that. All these tunes that like I kind of liked and I kind of enjoyed playing them in my bedroom. It's I'm hearing them back and I'm going, people might not hate this.
People might not hate this.
So I'm getting really excited.
Your goal is for people not to hate it.
No, I want to.
That should be your promo tag, right? Nick Earle, you won't hate. You won't hate it.
You won't hate it. No. Doesn't mean you'll love it, but you won't despise it.
You won't hate it.
Yeah.